Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury, and today I am at the New York Botanical Gardens, and I'm here to see flowers. And not just any flowers, they're having a Vincent Van Gogh exhibit. So it's a lot of inspiration from Van Gogh's artwork, but in a botanical form. So we're here to check it out. Come on, let's go see. So here is the sign for Van Gogh's flowers. It says, always continue walking a lot and loving nature, for that is the real way to learn and understand art better and better. And there is a scan for more information thing. So if you were with me for the Alice in Wonderland, this was at that time where the White Rabbit was. So today they have the sunflowers front and center at the fountain. And then on the ground surrounding the fountain, there's also this floral art. It kind of reminds me of chalk art, but it's definitely more permanent in how it was applied. So this is the back of the sunflower display here by the fountain. And it also has some flower information here. It has about sunflowers, and Van Gogh is known to paint the sunflowers. Has zinnias, I think that's how you would pronounce it, Z-I-N-N-I-A, zinnia. Zinnia. And then poppies. There's spear thistle, iris, and peony. And they are all represented here. So that's pretty cool that it's explaining which flowers they're using and when Van Gogh used them and how they appeared in his artwork. So it does say that there is Legos this way. I like Legos. I am a Lego fan. And I don't mean like the Lego my Egos, I mean like the blocks that we get to build stuff with. So the park is hopping today. Well, park garden, it's a garden. But there is this massive line, and I'm thinking this might be the Lego line. This might be a line for Legos. We're gonna find out though. So confirmed, that is in fact the Lego line. We can come back later and see if maybe the line gets shorter later on, but right now it's a very, very long line. So we're gonna walk around and explore and see if we can find some Van Gogh stuff. So we have kind of backtracked over here, and we are gonna head towards the Conservatory and see if we can find some art-inspired flowers. So I have not yet found, but the map that they gave us when we walked in, nor the maps that are posted, they're not specifying where the Van Gogh displays are. So we're kind of just wandering around. When I came for the Alice in Wonderland, the map was very specific and told us where those pieces were. So right now it's just meandering and exploring. Meandering and exploring, my friends. But we will find stuff. I'm determined. I am very determined. I found a little something. There's a sign that says, doing a simple thing with bright colors is not at all easy. As somebody who paints, I will verify. It's not easy. It's not easy. But you do it and you practice it and you keep going, and then magic happens. Found a little garden. And there are these orange signs. Ah, yes, the orange signs were the giveaway here. So you could see it's mentioning Van Gogh here. So I'm going to walk around and I'll tell you some of the stuff that I learned by walking through the garden. This one might be a little bit of a stretch. This is fennel. So this is talking about fennel. And what the sign is talking about is the flavor of fennel, which has a kind of a licorice flavor, kind of like anise. But they're trying to tie it into Van Gogh by comparing it to absinthe, which, although similar in flavor, that might be a little bit of a stretch for that. Let's keep learning. Let's keep finding stuff. So right over here we have some chives. So you might know chives, like a lot of Americans, we put them on like potatoes, right? So it was talking about how Van Gogh painted chives, but it also talks about the culinary benefits of chives. Okay, I see some more orange signs coming up. Let's find out more. So there are some peonies planted right here, and the sign is talking about how Van Gogh often painted peonies, as did many other Impressionist artists. So here we learn about Lily of the Valley. And what the sign was telling us about Lily of the Valley, in addition to it being a subject of one of Van Gogh's pieces of art, was that it was inspired by his mother. It was his mother's favorite flower and how he always grew up with gardens and he enjoyed painting them. And also that his mom was also a painter and her medium was watercolors and sketches. So inspiration from the family. So over here we're learning about some irises. These particular ones are Siberian iris, which the sign does indicate are bluer than the irises that Van Gogh himself painted, but that he did indeed paint irises. Or would it be irisae, irises? I don't know. Multiple iris. I was just walking by and I found these flowers and I was like, oh, they sniff nice. So I'm going to show you these flowers and how nice they sniff. It's these. I don't see a sign, so I can't tell you exactly what they are. But look, they're all fluffy like this. And they're budding. But the perfume coming off of them is absolutely delightful. If I were a pollinator, this would be like my home base. I'd be chilling here. This would be like my go-to. Okay, we have another orange sign. Let's go see what we can learn. We're going to learn about roses here. So not learning specifically about the roses, but more about the perennial garden. It talks about Lyndon Miller, who also is an artist and designed the perennial garden, but has it split into colors. So there's like a section of warm colors, a section of cool colors, and the artist's background influenced the design of the perennial garden. But I'm not gonna come over to a rose bush and not show you the roses. That would just be silly and shenanigans. Talk about inspired by. Here's an inspirational quote for y'all. The painter of the future is a colorist such as there hasn't been before. Vincent Van Gogh to Theo Van Gogh in 1888. Inspiration right there for us all. It looks like, according to this sign, Van Gogh may have had a favorite hue of blue inspired by the forget-me-nots. These little teeny tiny, little itty bitty ones.
But the ones over there are aster. It's a Japanese name for aster.
There are so many gorgeous, gorgeous flowers in bloom right along the pathway here. So this weekend they have like drop in and paint with other artists, and they have rinse water for paintbrushes specifically set up, so you could sit here and paint the flowers. I love it. And I have seen lots of people sitting with watercolors while I've been walking around. Now to me, besides Starry Night, the other thing that immediately comes to mind when I hear Van Gogh is sunflowers. So they have a whole area set up for sunflowers. This is so cool. This is so cool. So that's interesting. The sign was saying how sunflowers need a lot of direct sunlight, but there's a specific variety that was bred to not need direct sunlight. And it's like the only type of sunflower that doesn't. Interesting. Very interesting. But look, there's like all these different variety. Like, look at these ones with like the dark leaves and stems. And I know the flower is a little wind worn, but it's so dark and like has these rich red tones in it. But then these ones right next to it, totally different. Totally different. And then the ones behind it, totally different. I knew there were a variety of sunflowers, but it's like seeing them side by side next to each other. It's really fascinating. Some of them it's just a slight little variation, and some of it's like, those are really different. But they're still all sunflowers and all beautiful and amazing.
Thank you.
They have this huge, larger-than-life display of sunflowers set up. This is really, really cool. This is like bristly. Well, I just learned something new about sunflowers. It says, according to the sign, that the center of the sunflower emits something that humans can't see, and it's like in the UV spectrum, but insects see it, and it's like a bullseye, and it like hones them in so they know to come and pollinate. Fascinating. We are leaving the sunflower area, and we're walking towards the entrance to the conservatory, and we're going to see if there's anything going on inside there. So they have this display set up that's inspired by irises from 1889. And you could see they sort of extended the iris painting to the ground. And then we have the reflecting pool and then the display. It's gorgeous. It's a great way to sort of encapsulate it and bring it to life. Oh, y'all, the greenhouse area. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And you could see that this piece was inspired by the original Imperia fritilis in a copper vase. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of the flower. And we'll continue along. And then we have this display set up. And it's inspired by oleanders. Look at that. We even have the books on the table, just like in the original painting. So you can see here's the original for reference. And then this is the recreation right here. I love how much detail they paid attention to, even like strokes of color on the table and the books. They really try to recreate it in a faithful way. It's stunning. It's stunning. Next we have this recreation of roses. And here is what it looks like. And look, they even have like the little leaves and petals that have fallen down. But like, look at the color. It's not flat color. There's so many shades in that petal. Like there's blues, there's pinks, there's whites. There's so much going on these. And the last one in this section is irises. And here we are, faithful recreation. I like how it even captured like the branches that fell to the right side. It even has those, like you could see in the original right there. And then in the recreation, it has these ones that like drooped. Because even imperfection makes things a little bit more perfect. And again, with the details, all the shading and the coloring, there's so much going on each petal. I also love how they have them surrounded by these other plants. And it just really makes it come alive. It makes the sculptures a little bit more organic by having all of the plants behind it and under it and to the sides. It gives this extra level. This next area has so much color going on. I haven't even fully walked in yet, and it's just like a color pop in my eyes. I love it. I love it. We stepped outside at the conservatory, and now there's like plants in picture frames. Plants in picture frames, my friends. That's what we got out here. We have plants as wall art. And we do have a few of these frames set up with the plants. It is actually a pretty cool way to both garden and have art. It's like having a living wall. And I'm down for it. I mean, like if we could have like a big freestanding pot, why not turn it into art? Right? I'm on board. I'm on board. So we finished up in the conservatory and we saw all the displays that were there and getting a little hungry. So gonna head over to the lunch area and see if I can find salad or something. Let's go get some food. Okay, we made it to the lunch area and we are not alone. It's lunchtime. It is lunchtime. Lunchtime means build your own salad for me. And that's what I did. So I got some greens, and this is like mushrooms and roast peppers and cucumber and tomatoes. Also, all sorts of noms in there. Yep. That's lunch. So finished lunch and walking around. So I'm looking at the map. I was looking online, and we may have seen all of the Van Gogh things. Not 100% sure, but it seems like by the conservatory and like the garden in front of it, and then by the visitor center is where most of it is. But we're still exploring, walking around, and if I see more, I will show you. But I'm not so sure that there is any more to be seen, specifically for the Van Gogh exhibit. I mean, there's plenty of botanical gardens around. Found our way to this bridge, and yeah, there's a little river. There is a little river flowing through the botanical garden. Came out of the forest area into the lilac area. I feel like people don't always venture as far back here. It's a lot calmer. Yeah, if you need a little elbow room while you're here, you want a nice little area, this is great. That lilac area led us out right by the rose garden. I love the rose garden. I wonder how much in bloom it is right now. We're gonna find out. Here is the rose garden. We did also pass a sign where it said painting the garden, so they might also have like painting supplies set up over here as well. But yeah, it's my favorite. I like the rose garden a lot. So many colors of roses. So many variety. Oh wow, look at this purple. That is beautiful.
Look at this.
Painting the roses red. Yes, painting the roses red. Pardon me, but Mr. 3, they don't all need to be red. Because a whole multitude of colors is absolutely stunning. So those roses were so pretty and they smelled so good. But yeah, as I suspected, I haven't come across much else for Van Gogh. They did have it set up where you could paint by the rose garden also, but that was it. And we've been walking around and taking in the garden, but I haven't seen any more like parts for the Van Gogh exhibit. So I guess with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. And I'll see you all real soon. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.